bet. Let me. There you go. Yeah.
Oh, that you put that in there. Okay.
Yeah. This is to advance my slides so I don't have to stand behind the computer the whole time. You bet, Grace. You bet. All right. Look, we got lots of people in the waiting room. If people are in the waiting room, it is because they are not logging in through, we'll go ahead and admit all, because they are not logging in through Blackboard. One of the ways that we have a beautiful, wonderful workaround is that from your Blackboard course site, you go to Zoom meetings, you select Zoom meetings, and then all you have to do is join today's session. It'll say join right here. This is exactly what it's gonna look like.
Head silence, just remember to move the mic a little bit.
Okay, all right, thank you for that. Thank you. How's that? Better? Awesome.
Yeah, because when it's clear out there, you can't.
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay, so we're still bringing people in. Here we go. Okay, I'm wondering why things are beeping. It's because I still have my earpod in. Yes, I forget that I have my AirPod in all the time, although it's not a real AirPod, it's a pseudo AirPod. Okay, so we have people all over that are here to help. If you need help, please ask them. They have a sign that they've been holding up. They're located towards the center space. You can wave at them if you need some help. Okay, all right. Admit all. I'm going to assign TA's host. Luke is going to be co-host. Yes. And Haley will be co-host. If you are not a TA, please mute your screen. It empowers us to use the Wi-Fi primarily for audio. So Dylan Reese, if you would mute your screen, that would be awesome. You've got your mic muted, which is great. Thank you so much, Dylan. Thank you. So currently the people that are animated and on screen are our TAs that are off-site right now, and they're zooming in for the day. We have TAs seating down here in front to also help me technologically problem solve and then address student questions. Okay, I'm just going to give it another minute or so. And as people are coming in, I know that it's awkward. You got to get your ID checked and find your correct seat. Okay, wave your hand if you're still having an issue connecting for any reason. And you probably wouldn't be waving your hand if you had a trouble connecting because you wouldn't even hear this question. Okay, all right, I want to review what you guys did to get things set up. The first thing that we'd asked you to do today is that when you came in, really focus on making sure that you're connected to the EduRoam Wi-Fi. This is the Wi-Fi that's going to allow you to stay empowered and be connected. This is the Wi-Fi that is linked and set up through this space. They put in new receivers just a few weeks ago while we were in here. So we should have enough bandwidth. I know that on Monday we ran into some issues. Now that we're all on the same page and we're all operating with the same set of guidelines, being on the EduRoam and then accessing Zoom through your Blackboard link. The reason why accessing through your Blackboard link is important is because when you get booted, if you get booted, right, you'll be able to come back in without having to go through the waiting room. Okay, you'll be able to come back in without having to go through the waiting room because you will have already been legitimized through Blackboard. All right, again, log into Blackboard, okay, and then follow the navigation to the Zoom meetings. That's what we're going to be doing. And then today's meeting, right, all you have to do is select join. Here are some suggestions, muting your audio and updating the visible name that you have. So I will demo that. Okay, Dr. Henderson, I use she, her pronouns. Okay, you guys, believe it or not, I fantasize about the day that when we come in here, we are not going to have these curious logistics. Is there supposed to be an exit ticket for today? Blackboard doesn't have it posted. Maddie, they post towards the end of class. The class number, the section number is 003. This is Psych 101, section 003. The password for EduRoam, when you log on, you're logging on using your student account. So much the same username and password for your Boise State login. And I see that a lot of your students are helping each other out. Awesome, awesome. Ryan Harris, you are not muted. Would you please double check and make, oh, yep, you are muted. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, so the TAs that are visible on Zoom right now, would you go ahead and just pop in really quick, Luke, and introduce yourself to our students?
Hi everybody, my name is Lucas Henches, or Luke, either one works for me. I use he, him, his pronouns. I'm a psychology major. This is my junior year. And yeah, anything else you want us to introduce, Dr. Henderson?
No, that's enough. That's enough. This is Luke's second semester with me. He worked on this class last semester and fundamentally helped redesign the entire thing. So thank you for that, Luke. Delaney, go ahead and introduce yourself to our class.
Hi, I'm Delaney. I'm going into my senior year. Well, I guess I just started my senior year. And I'm a psychology major.
Awesome. Thank you, Delaney. Now, fun story about Delaney and I. When she came to do a tour of campus for Bronco Days or Boise State Day or whatever it was back in April, years ago, she was the only student in one of our discussion groups. And so she got to have me like one-on-one, and she still came here, which is a testament to her resilience, not me, obviously. Glad to see you, Delaney. Thank you. Hey, Elizabeth, go ahead, your turn.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth. I'm going to be a senior this year. I just started my senior year. I'm a psychology major and I'm minoring in family studies.
Awesome. Thank you much. Elizabeth is brand new to me, but I'm really, really excited to have her. So thank you, Elizabeth. And Haley, have at it.
Hi everyone, my name's Haley and I'm a senior. I'm studying psychology, that's my major. And then just like Elizabeth, I'm also minoring in family studies.
Minoring in family studies is sort of a complementary option when it comes to psychology. And Haley also helped design this course last semester. And Hannah, why don't you go ahead and take a second to introduce yourself? Thank you, Haley.
Hi all, I'm Hannah Lacey. And actually, just so that you know, the other Zoom link from last time put a bunch of people in a different class. So we all just got here.
Okay, good to know. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, at any rate, I'm a junior and I'm studying psychology as my major and then philosophy as my minor.
Okay, pretty busy, pretty busy. I got to meet Hannah, boy, was it last fall in our human relationships class. That's another upper division course that I teach from time to time. And so lots of great people, really excited. Looks like Meg is here. Meg, would you like to introduce yourself to everybody?
Sure. What do you want me to, sorry, my link didn't work earlier, so.
That's okay. That's okay. Just go ahead and give your name and maybe your year right now and what your major is.
Well, I'm Meg. I'm a senior this year, and my major is psychology, and I have a minor in criminal justice and Spanish.
Okay, double minor. Oh, busy, busy. Meg is also new to me, but I'm wicked excited to get to know her as well. Okay, since you guys see everything that is on my screen, I'm going to go ahead and minimize that and get started. Seating survey. If you haven't done so already, please complete the seating survey. Okay, if you log into your myboisestate.edu account over on the side navigation bar under services, you'll see the link for seating. Please enter your section number and seat number as well. Section and seat, excellent. I see people getting help. That is good, that is good. This doesn't feel like a big class given how spread out all y'all are, so it's pretty different. Remember, the reason why we do the seating survey is to ensure for the possibility of needing to do contact tracing and be able to contact people who have had proximal exposure to anybody who tests positive for COVID. All right, I like to start off class with a little bit of housekeeping. And I think housekeeping is really important. It's just kind of my way to run through some of the things to take under consideration as far as our class, how we're functioning, especially given these current times. Taking a moment to just talk about logistics, I think is pretty important. I have no idea what that beeping is. I'm seriously, Nate, I have no idea what that beeping is. I think it's Zoom. I'm just teasing you. You don't have to come up here. I appreciate you. Okay. With the beautiful people here at Extra Mile are listening into everything I say so they can be up here at a moment's notice to help me out. It's really super awesome. Okay, so housekeeping. Wi-Fi. Okay, we all are on the correct account. We're all on EduRoam. I am going to have you guys fill out a survey today after class. It's included in our exit ticket, so it's nothing extra. But this exit ticket, you're going to be able to tell me how your connectivity was, if you ran into any issues. What we are seeing is that logistically, the OIT, all of our super rockin' awesome Wi-Fi support people are saying, things are active, there's enough bandwidth, but we were having students have quite a bit of issues on Monday. So our hope is that now that everybody's on EduRoam, that we are limiting that. And one of the reasons why we have all students black out their screen is so that they can limit the bandwidth, and it's really focused on audio, which is primarily what you need, because if you're in this room, you can see the screen. Now, submissions deadlines for this week. You'll see throughout the entirety of Blackboard all these blue highlighted pieces that say, you know, you need to submit these by Tuesday night, you need to submit these by, you know, Monday night or Wednesday night. All of that information is laid out there. And really for this week and this week only, those are primarily placeholders, okay? You're gonna see those throughout this semester. We want you to get into the habit of what you should expect. But our due dates for this semester, or pardon me, our due dates for this week, the deadlines for submitting have all been waived. So if you submitted something late, you're still gonna get full points if that's what you've earned, okay? After this week though, after this week, starting next week, right, with all of the content for our first unit, we're gonna enforce those boundaries on deadlines. Okay, if it is ever the case that you know that you're going to miss a deadline, if you are sick, right, or unable to come to class, or maybe taking care of somebody who might be sick, please email me. Having a record of you making the request and acknowledging that you're going to need an extension on that deadline is one of our policies in this class. All right, so any questions? TAs, pop in if you see any questions on the chat regarding any of our housekeeping items. All right, Z office hours, right? I think Luke or Haley, you guys are sort of the TAs on point for this. So if you guys run across any questions, please feel free to interrupt me. Z office hours, these will be posted on Blackboard in the syllabus area. The TAs are students as well. They're waiting for their schedules to sort of shake out and solidify before they set up their hours. We had a meeting today. We got our hours sort of lined up, and I've had a few people send me their hours. I'm going to send you all the hours and the links to sign up for an appointment to meet with them via Zoom. Okay, you'll also see my hours there posted as well. So we're going to go ahead and try a breakout. We're going to break out into the smallest groups possible given the extent and size of our class. That's going to be groups of 4 to 5 people. Now we are moving into those breakouts. We have lots in the chat. Okay, excellent. All right, all right. You guys are doing a great job of getting questions answered. So we're gonna go ahead and break out into some rooms. Our topic for discussion, so we're gonna put it into 50 rooms. The topic for discussion is, what did you learn about Dr. Henderson in your explorations, right? Preparing for this week, you guys were provided the opportunity to review my Rate My Professor content, my actual evals from last fall, the last time I taught my large section, and also my Instagram account. So you guys are going to be talking about what did you learn about me and possibly any follow-up questions that you might have. Now, when I hit all rooms, right, you're going to be sent into a space. It'll ask you to click on the link and send you into the breakout room. I will give you just a little bit of a warning when you guys are supposed to pop back in. Plan on talking for like two minutes max. All right, there you go. Everybody's headed out. Oh, my cursor's not keeping time. Excellent, excellent. We still have a few people that are headed out. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and send that person there, send this person there, 7 and 9. All right. TAs, if you would, if you see people, maybe you guys, Luke, will you let me know if you have a view of the breakout rooms? Excellent. I'm hearing chatting. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Excellent. All right, Grace is chatting, saying nobody came to her breakout room. All right, co-hosts, I think that you can bebop into some different rooms.
Hey, Grace.
Hi, can you hear me?
Barely. It's
Hello?
really glitchy.
Oh god.
And the screen keeps going away.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Like, it says, like, join audio, but then, like,
Yeah.
What?
Mine's doing the same thing. Can I share my screen with you guys? No. That won't work.
All right, how about that? All righty. All right, in the chat box, go ahead and type in for me anything that you talked about, right? Even if it's a singular statement, like she's hard, or she's abrasive, or this is going to be fun, or this is going to be a lot of work, or whatever comes to mind. There's absolutely zero judgment. Nothing will be held against you. All of this is about making sure that everybody is a good fit. Good fit. Okay. So between Lucas and Haley, will you guys go ahead and unmute and start taking some of these items up in the chat, and we'll just alternate between you two.
All right, I'm seeing lots of like hard teacher but cool person type of stuff. Like,
okay, all right, Haley, what are you seeing?
I see very unorganized. I see clear assignment guidelines. She has a great personality. Yeah, same as Luke. I see that there's going to be a lot of people who are really enjoying your way about teaching, and how it's going to be more inclusive and just fun in general for students.
All right. All right, well, guess what? We're going to go ahead and speak to some of the thornier points in a little bit. What I want to take you guys to is Blackboard. Luke, did you have another thought that you wanted to share?
People are talking about just like how heavy the material load is, which I think goes along with the 10-week versus 16-week model.
Yep. Yeah, that's a true story. I mean, I think that that's something that you should definitely pay attention to as a student in a class. You know, doing something in 16 weeks versus 10 weeks, we've basically reduced the course by a third, which means that you do more every week than you would in a 16-week semester. So I'm gonna walk you through Blackboard a little bit, and I want to show you some tips and tricks that I think are important to your success in the class. Our announcements page, it's someplace that you always go to. I sent this to you via email. If you don't see this announcement about pointers for class today, Wednesday 8.26, in your email, be sure to go into your myboisestate.edu settings and check and make sure that you have your email preferences set up correctly. Being able to communicate with you guys via email through the course is pretty important. So this is one of the ways that we check that. Syllabus schedule information, all of that is up there. I am realizing that I did not update this link. When they had us link through the Zoom meetings on Blackboard, it changed our link. So I will definitely update that. And Taylor's going to be responsible for sending me an email to update that.
Can you share your screen?
Yes, thank you. You guys are helping me left and right. See, I'm presenting it to the people that are in the class. Here we go. Okay, I'm seeing more questions come in. So Haley and Lucas, if you guys run across something, just hold on to that for a little bit, and then we'll come back and address that. So here, of course, COVID, please, for the love of all that is holy, take care of yourself. I cannot stress it enough. If you're sick, if you think you might be sick, please take care of yourself for all of us, and just communicate. That's all you have to do, is be upfront and communicate with us. You don't even need to explain to me that you're symptomatic or anything else like that. Just let me know that you're concerned about your health and that you will not be in class for the day. This top part of the course just kind of lays everything out. My Zoom hours will be posted right here once things get solidified. Our Flipgrid, Zoom, and these are the requirements for the course. The course description breaks down the class, lets you know what we're going to be talking about, why we're going to be talking about those, and some of the technological requirements. Assessments are probably the most important thing for all y'all. We have, in redesigning this class, we've divided everything into formative and summative assessments. So those look like big numbers, but there's no one assessment that is worth 360 points. It adds up to 360 points. You can see the 360 breakdown right here through the choose your own adventure points, which will be valued around 180, concept checks, which are valued around 120, and then exit tickets. And those are those things that you complete on a daily basis when we hold class. are the exit tickets. All of those contribute to the formative assessment. One of the things that we've done throughout is we have actually included an F or an S by each one of those assessments, so you can just at a glance understand how that's going to contribute to your grade. So pre-reads are summative, and choose your own adventure are formative, and then exit tickets are also formative. So this is just us trying to find as many ways as possible to share information with you and ensure that you are empowered and ready for the class. Summative assessments. These ones are graded a little bit differently. Formative assessments try to traditionally fall underneath the done, not done, done plus. Summative assessments, the pre-read, the weekly summary, and the unit essay are evaluated a little bit more critically. Okay, and by critically, I mean we're going to be really reading for accuracy. We're going to be reading for your level of insight. And then, of course, grammar is going to be taken into consideration for the weekly summary as well as the unit essay. And the unit essay especially, and I'm going to show you guys how you can figure out how they're contributing. We're going to talk about research next week. I give the researchers a week to get their studies up, to get things started before we talk about it in class. But research is worth 80 points. And then you're going to take a final in this class. So it's going to be worth 80 points. It's a cumulative, and we'll be taking it in class. You'll be taking it on the device that you have right now. In completing that on our last day of class. Your concept checks that you can take throughout the semester will be similar to the types of questions you're going to see on the final. I'm also going to provide you guys with some practice tests throughout the semester, just so you can get an idea and a feel for what the final is going to look like. I don't want to pull the rug out from underneath you when you go to the final. It is a multiple choice test assessment. It is a cumulative. So I'm going to do my best to create these sort of opt-in experiences where you can get feedback on your own testing process, maybe what areas that are your strengths, maybe areas that you can afford to spend a little bit more time. So this is how your grade is going to be calculated. All right, Luke, and Haley, any questions about what we've done so far?
All right, we've got a couple at this point.
Okay.
The person was asking about where they set email preferences. That was something you mentioned.
Through your my.boisestate.edu, when you go into it, it'll show settings, and you'll want to go in and make sure that you have your email preferences set to your school email. Always use your school email for logging into Flipgrid, for logging into Zoom, for logging into all of those things. It's also a good practice to email me from your student email. Otherwise, my university email tends to think that it's spam and will oftentimes toss you in the trash, and I don't want that to happen. So using your school email is your path of least resistance on that. Thank you, Lucas. What else?
There's another question regarding the weekly summaries, and it was asking if those would be preferred to be an essay format.
Yes, let's work towards that. Essay summaries, you'll see the essay summary. It'll be available at the weekly summary. It'll be available at the end of class today, right underneath this expand your learning item. It'll populate the space just down here. And yeah, you want to be writing those as if you're going to write a unit essay, because those unit essays are worth so many points. Your weekly summaries are kind of your ways to work on your writing, to work on your logic, to work on your accuracy. So there are lower points, and they allow us to give you feedback on some of those critical things that we're going to be looking for in the essay. One of the things that I want to point out to you is that whenever you go into any assessment that we have, so this is for the pre-read, you can always view the rubric, okay? The rubric shows you sort of the breakdown on how it's going to be graded. For this being the summative, it's the earliest summative in your experience. We're basically grading this on as attempted versus done. Done, if you answer all the questions and submit on time, you're going to get a mark of done. If you don't submit on time, you're going to get attempted, or if there are major glaring absences in the content that we've requested, you'll get the attempted grade. Remember that for this week, right, for this orientation unit only, we're waiving all of the due times. All right, what else, folks? Any other questions, Lucas and Haley?
Yes, it
Okay.
seems like there's a couple of questions specifically about Wi-Fi. We're having trouble getting kicked off.
Okay. Encourage the students to be on EduRoam. And as I, not understanding how Wi-Fi works necessarily, I don't know what other suggestion to provide. I do have you guys filling out a survey at the end of class. I could tell people were getting bumped off. That's why they kept having to be readmitted and readmitted. Yep, there's another one. Yeah, we are working on that. We're trying to figure out what the problem is. The engineers say that Wi-Fi is sufficient in this space, but as is your current experience, and what I also heard from students on Monday, it has not been super effective. So we need more information, and that's one of the reasons why I'm going to have you guys answer some questions after class today about your Wi-Fi experience in this space. I'm not trying to make excuses. I have no idea how Wi-Fi works. I just know that you guys are not staying connected. And in order for us to figure out what's wrong, we need to figure out where it's happening and how consistent it is. Oh, I don't know if people are yelling at me from the back or not. Okay, more questions, Haley and Lucas? Anything?
People are asking about if there's a required length for any essays and like how should we submit those? Should those be in doc form or should we use the right submission option?
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Oh, hello, look at this. Here's the Wi-Fi people. We have lots of people who are getting booted off. Okay, yeah. Yeah, no, I get it.
All right, everybody. My name is Jerry. I'm one of the guys that helped put in the Wi-Fi. So I really, really want you guys right here. Me? Yeah, you just have to hold it a little closer. All right, very good.
How's that? Can we get a thumbs up? Can you hear them? I mean to turn it off, turn it off.
All right, I got a military voice, so I can talk. My name is Jerry. I'm one of the guys that did the Wi-Fi in here. So I really want your feedback. We've been watching.
And the zone is located in the ILC. I've also included for you guys, so in the sub and the ILC, I've also included the zone specific email and the help desk email. Okay, so maybe one of the first stops in figuring out Wi-Fi is ensuring that you're on the EduRoam and that you have the device specific supplicant. I've never heard that word before, in order to empower you to have that access. I sent out an email through Blackboard earlier today, just walking you guys through all that, making sure that you signed on before you came to class. We're assured that we have the bandwidth. There's some steps on your end that we're needing you guys to take to meet us in the middle. Yes.
Does it have a specific place of where they're sitting?
No, but you guys have that extra mile arena has the information of where each person's sitting.
I don't know, is there a place for them to make a note of where they're sitting?
I would have to change the survey, and since it's available right after class, that might be kind of hard. I'll see what I can do about adding seating information. Uh-huh. I get you. Yeah, no, I get it. In fact, I'll figure that out. All right, you guys, we're doing everything. Can we give them some claps? Give them some claps. I appreciate you guys. I know this is unlike anything any of us have ever tried to navigate. So we have a little bit of a curve, right? And I intentionally set up this week to be very orientation and very not loose, but very just working on being informative and working on all these technological issues. Okay, well, Lucas, Haley, anything that I should pop into really quick specifically?
There are a couple of questions about whether or not students can take the class and attend it outside of the arena. So maybe in their dorms or at the library, if that's possible.
So here's what I run into. Look at me. Here's what we run into a little bit. Look, boom, done, updated. What I run into with that is that students were desperate for having face-to-face classes this semester. And if you don't want to be here because you feel like it's a Wi-Fi issue, I respect that, right? But if you don't want to be in this classroom because you don't want to sit in the classroom, I am not sure what to say. You know, there are so many students that were really looking forward to having a face-to-face class. Obviously, right, if we don't get the logistics figured out, it's going to be very difficult for any of us to be successful in this space. I am hopeful and I am confident that we have smart people that really want to make sure that this happens. So to answer the question, is it okay if you're not in class? Yes, it's okay if you're not in class, you can Zoom in. Yes, it's okay if you're not in class and you can Zoom in. I am definitely want to make as much room for everybody in order to be successful this semester. And if you feel like you're going to be more successful if you're not physically here, I respectfully get out of your way and want to honor that. Okay. All right, Haley, what else? Or Lucas?
There's also another question that keeps on coming up about the format that you would prefer for writing essays or summaries.
Awesome. Oh, that was a crazy sound. Maybe that was my sound. So when we bebop into our syllabus, right, and we go all the way down and we start to look at the content related to policies, I have a section related to assignment submissions. And in that area, I make it really clear you can do docx, and we could even add PDF to this, but it's number 3 under submitting assignments. The format that's required. You can also copy and paste into the submissions text area. That's totally appropriate, but Blackboard only works with Doc and DocX. Now we use a program in Blackboard called SafeAssign. It's one of the ways that we do plagiarism checks, and that's why you have to have it in Doc or DocX. Okay, so that addressed the format question.
I think I also want to know APA or MLA when they talk.
APA is great. If you're citing somebody, if you are using somebody else's words, or if you're quoting directly from somebody else, please use citations. I'll take either APA or MLA. I, of course, default towards APA because that's my science. I do not expect you to default towards that as well. So I can read it either way. Thank you for those questions. What else?
In addition to having the text be Times New Roman 12-point font, do you have a spacing preference?
I think it's 1. Margins are a little bit more important, having them be set to normal. But really, all of that only matters if I have page expectations, and I don't have page expectations. I really believe that you need to take as much time as you need to tell me what you need to. If I told one student that your essay needed to be 3 pages, and they had to BS to get 3 pages, that's not something I want to read. If I have another student that I say, you only get to do 3 pages or 2 pages, and it really stresses them out and they don't get to share everything with me that they know and understand about the science, then that handicaps them as well. So we don't have length expectations when it comes to submitting essays. Okay. What else? Any other questions, Lucas or Haley, for right now?
Looks like we're just talking in chat about submission formats. I
Okay.
think we got it covered in chat though.
Okay, yeah, there's lots of questions about Google Docs. I post a lot in Google Docs, and it's really super easy to convert those to Word, right? When you go to download, and then you can just put it into DocX. It's just that easy. And then you would upload it from whatever device you're on. Quick little demo there. So our weeks are set up all the same. Your psychological science unit is now available to you. I've got week 2 visible. So when you pop into week 2, you're going to see things exactly like you saw them in orientation. Okay, there's an introductory video, there's our materials and learning objectives, there's the Monday folder, there's the Wednesday folder, and here's your expand your learning, the exact same content that you saw in our orientation unit. Pre-work, right? Pre-work full credit when submitted by Sunday evening. This, as most of you know, involves you thinking about what you already know about the science that we're going to be talking about specifically. Submitting this content, I know I've already demoed this, but there's where your rubric is located. Here's just a reminder of the task and content. I've already started grading a few of the pre-reads from this week. And one of the things that I'm seeing is that a lot of people would type into the comments, and that is not what you want to do. That makes it very difficult to grade. So you want to use the right submission if you're going to copy and paste or just type into that space, or attach and upload one of those files. One of the things that I'm offering this semester that is different from things that I have done previously is I'm encouraging you to use different modalities, at the very least when it comes to this pre-read. So if you want to provide like an oral example or a visual example, please don't hesitate in doing that. Any creative way to share your knowledge and understanding. I had individuals submit PowerPoint this week, a video, somebody created a collage. Really great ways for you to just show me what you know about the science, or what it is that you think that you know. We have this explore section. This actually opens up to an entire Google slide. And this Google slide, everything is active and you're able to click on and follow any of those links. This is the content that's required for this section of content. And then here are some things that you can read and watch and explore regarding positive psychology. Now, I do not, there's only one Psych 101 text that I know of that incorporates well-being and positive psychology. And it costs money, and I like the free book that you guys have. So we are supplementing with links, videos, and readings related to positive psychology. A lot of you have already explored and utilized the Choose Your Own Adventure. Of course, this has been very fascinating. You've only done this with the syllabus. Now we're going to be shifting to our textbook. This lays out for you what you're going to be reading and any of the positive psychology content that we've linked online. This runs through the skills, the task, what you're going to be doing. Now, I provide you with 3 different options. That's why we call it the CYOA, Choose Your Own Adventure. Check out all 3. Maybe one week you try A, maybe one week you try B, and one week you try C until you find something that's a good fit for you. The intent behind an ARG is to have you walking through the course content intentionally. Research is really clear that when you have an agenda when you read, you're more effective when you read. So we've created 3 different possible agendas in varying degrees of detail. All of them, though, lead to this post-read, and the post-read is the same thing on each ARG. Okay, so this is what we focus on as far as content. In some of your submissions from earlier this week in the orientation unit, you submitted the entire ARG, which is totally fine, as long as we have the post-read content. One of the things that we'll be doing on a lot of our assignments, not all of them, but on a lot of them, is we'll be providing you with some examples on what a done component looks like versus not done versus when we get into the summaries, you guys will have some more detailed examples of what C level work and A level work and B level work looks like, or pardon me, C and A level work. This is a concept check. Concept check is not something that you had in the orientation unit, so it's something new to you. This is a test. It's open book, open note, but I do have it timed. Your final is timed, and I want you to use these concept checks as sort of a reality check for you on what it feels like to take this test in a timed frame. Now, you can take this thing, I think, as many times as you want. Okay, you can take it as many times as you want. You indicate your answer on the assessment. No, I'm not actually reading them, I'm just marking them. And then what you'll have available to you afterwards is you'll have a score. You will not get to see the answers or any other feedback information until after the assessment is due. And that's just to ensure that other people don't get a hold of your results. So, oh, well, maybe because I'm the teacher, I can see it right now. But here is the question. Oh, even just by the luck of the draw, yeah, I really suck. I got 1 right out of 10 just by clicking buttons. This will show you your points. If you get a question incorrect, you get the response, right? You had selected marketing and these were the options. We don't tell you what the right answer is. We know from learning theory and practice that if you wrestle with it for a little bit and work hard to figure out why you missed the question that you did and what the right answer is, you learn exponentially more. So that's what this CC stands for, is concept check. And then this is a placeholder for our lecture. You'll see that I've already posted our Zoom from this week. Now, this week obviously was very interesting. We were working on seating and everything else for a majority of the class. So any student that's emailed me and said, I'm late joining the class, what did I miss? I've referenced this Zoom, I've encouraged them to go there. And then we're also having, I let you know, like, just listen to the last 20 minutes. Like, that's where things actually get good. But after this week, it'll all be good, I promise. I can't actually promise that. That's a dream and a hope for me. So the lecture will go here, and then the exit ticket is here. All right, questions, Lucas and Haley, from the Blackboard.
Lots of questions just about where things are on Blackboard. I think people are doing a good job staying active in the chat. I appreciate other students who are helping us out with locating things.
Anything you think I could draw attention to right now that would be specifically helpful?
People were asking about like where Zooms are posted after class.
Okay. So next Monday's lecture will be posted right here. And if you look on, this is in our Monday folder from this week, you'll see that I've posted the Zoom and it's located right here. I uploaded to YouTube first. That is by far the most efficient reader in Blackboard, and you can literally watch it from right here. Look, hi Hannah. She was in class early. I wasn't even there yet. She's waiting so patiently. As a teaching assistant, her ability to go into the class automatically started the recording. So there you go, infamy. So that's where you'll find the Zoom. Luke, Hannah, or Haley, anything else?
There's one question. Are we expected to choose the same letter each time for the choose your own adventure?
No, you can choose, you can do whichever one you wish to anytime. I recommend maybe trying all 3 first just to see what's most beneficial to you. Ideally, those ARGs will be what you use to study from for the final. So in the spirit of full disclosure, ARG A is set up as being the most detailed and thorough ARG. Okay, ARG B and C are a little bit lighter in details and specificity. So if you're the kind of student that works really well with like review sheets and study sheets, then definitely I would opt in to ARG A. That'll provide you with a lot more details.
There's one question about when taking a concept check and go to a different tab, is it going to mess up our test?
It won't mess up your test, but it's also not going to stop your time. The clock keeps ticking no matter what.
There's also a question about whether or not it would be possible to share your screen so students can see a little bit better.
Right now, share my screen?
She's currently sharing if you're not seeing.
Yeah, I'm already sharing my screen.
Just for future classes.
Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. No, I will definitely share my screen anytime we're in Zoom. That was my bad.
There have been a few questions about the create your own adventure. Someone said that there was one due last night and then there's also one due on the 30th. Is that correct?
Yes, there's a choose your own adventure that prepares you for Monday, which is due on Sunday, and then there's a choose your own adventure that was due last night to prepare you for today.
So 2 every week.
Yes. Let me pop in here. So you have your choose, so this is the Monday folder for next week. We'll stay focused on next week. So here's your choose your own adventure. That's going to be an ARG. Traditionally, those are over our reading chapters from our textbook. And then on Wednesday, the choose your own adventure for this Wednesday, you can choose your own adventure through creating your own example of a research study and identify the independent and dependent variables. Those are examples that we do up here. That's some of the pre-work. Type up your research statement and model it after the examples above. So your choose your own adventure for this coming week is to create a research study example. And that since it's pre-work for Wednesday, all of this needs to be completed by Tuesday night. Awesome. All right, any other pressing questions?
Some students are asking about the surveys and it tells them to take a screenshot to get credit for them. Do they submit those somewhere?
Yes, so when you do your exit tickets, okay, you're going to be submitting those. You just click on that link right there, and then you just upload your picture in this space. There was a survey that you guys were completing by Tuesday night that we weren't submitting anywhere, and let me just draw specific attention to that one. So then that was my mistake. I had instructions on the survey that were not actually relevant. So I believe it was either this survey or this survey where I had instructions for students to submit, but there was no submission for that. This was just to complete. If you look at this icon represents just a placeholder for information, and this one is a folder. This one, however, is a submission. So you can see how my little arrow turns into a finger. That means that this is something that is linked and openable. You also see that with the Choose Your Own Adventure folder that prepared you for today's class. That's how you know when something is supposed to be submitted. The other thing I also include is either formative or a, I don't have a summative in here, but either an F or an S is right here. That way you also know that it's something that needs to be submitted for points. This one is not submitted for points. This was content to get you oriented and committed to the course to ensure that we didn't drop you later this week when we do faculty initiated drops. All right, any other questions that are pressing you think that would be helpful for me answering?
There were a couple students that said they took the survey but forgot to screenshot it, and if they should take it again.
No, since you don't need to submit a screenshot for these surveys, you don't need to do anything or submit anything. When you do it for this exit ticket, yes, right? The exit ticket for today, you will need to submit a screenshot once class is done. How do I have 12 responses? We haven't even had the end of class yet. So if you were one of those students that mistakenly completed the exit ticket prior to actually having the end of class arrive, please make sure and resubmit that after class is done. All right, I am going to put a pause on the questions from the chat unless anything comes up that's pressing. I want to address the questions that you guys actually submitted. So here we go. Some course processes and policies. Will time be set aside for in-class discussion? Yes. Similar to the breakout that you guys just did, we'll do that several times throughout class. I am not one to be really excited about talking the entire time. I really believe that learning happens through relating, and that's one of the reasons why I like to teach face-to-face, and that's why you guys will have discussions throughout our time. Will the assignments stay the same way every week? Yes. There is a rhythm. Once you guys get into it, I want you to keep it so you guys can anticipate things and you know when things need to be completed, just so you're empowered with that repetition. How many hours a week approximately will be dedicated to pre-work and or homework for this class? I think it really varies by student, how effective you are at reading. I can honestly say that you're probably going to be spending close to 9 hours a week on this class. For sure, you're going to have the 3 hours a week face-to-face. So some of you might even spend 12 hours a week on this class. Again, remember, right? We're short this class by 6 weeks for a reason, which means that we're doing extra work. In essence, just about every day is about a week and a half's worth of content, okay? A week and a half's worth of content, or pardon me, 75% of a week's content folds into a day, and how we've worked things timed out. Next question. Is it mandatory to show up in class or can we Zoom in? I think we've already established that you guys can Zoom if that's what you feel is best and most effective for your learning experience. Can I provide an example of an A-graded assignment? You'll see on our weekly summaries that will provide you with examples of distinguished work and average work on those summative assessments that demarcate, you know, across the board, that assign sort of C, B, and A grades. Who can I ask for help before submitting an assignment? Depends on what you need help with. If you're not sure about the accuracy of content, you can check in with a TA or myself. If you're concerned about your writing, I would recommend going to the writing center. I do not round grades. If you look on our course policies, under grading, you'll see rounding. I round to the 10th, which is to say that if you have an 89.49, you will be issued an A. If you have an 89.5, you will also be issued an A. Pardon me. If you have an 89.49, you will not be issued an A. And if you have an 89.5, you will. So I don't go out to that second decimal point past that. I only, I stay to that first decimal point, the 10th placeholder. So no, I do not round up beyond that one. And how will grades be updated? As soon as when students submit work, once the due period passes, we actually hide that row for a period of time and while we're grading. And then once it's all graded, we'll release it and you'll be able to see it. You'll be able to see real time your concept checks. So you'll have those as soon as you do them. And then for everything else, we are hoping, right? We have 250 students. We are striving to get you guys feedback in 7 days, 7 to 10 business days. And I'm really confident that we can meet that expectation. My hope is that we're getting it back to you even sooner. I would like for you guys to have feedback so you can use that feedback to empower you for your next round of submissions. Other frequently asked questions, are the deadlines flexible? I'm not entirely sure what that means. After this week, there's no flexibility. We are sort of waiving our due times this week just to help everybody get oriented and get things figured out without penalty. Yes, no, there is no flexibility. Maybe that's why the class is hard. Do I offer feedback? We offer feedback on any of the summative assessments. On the formative assessments, if there was a glaring issue or if we have a very poignant suggestion that will help you in the future, we'll make that. So yes, you will have feedback beyond just a number. I describe my teaching style. I really like the idea of being a guide on the side. I like to be the person that gets to champion you, that gets to create opportunities for you to explore and experience. And how do I apply my own learning and values to my teaching? Well, I strive to be engaging. I also strive to provide as many opportunities for you to experience the science that's intuitive to you. Throughout the semester, you're going to see this expand opportunity where you're going to get to explore topics that maybe you didn't consider being relevant or insightful. More frequently asked questions. What resources do I specifically have for transgender and gender fluid students? If this is somebody If this is you, or if this is a topic that you care about, I would welcome this conversation. I too am learning. I'm not entirely sure what specific resources would be helpful for individuals who are transgender or gender fluid. What do I love most about psychology? I love students. And what I love most about psychology is that it's always evolving. It is something that is related to our culture, and it's something that gets to grow and change as we grow and change, which is really exciting to me. My goals for this class, God's honest truth, the first goal I have is to make it through. I mean, I cannot be any more honest than that. Getting through the semester with the logistics and the challenges that we have ahead of us, it's going to be a win for me when we finish. But I think this is going to be an extraordinary win for me because this class has evolved so much over this summer and into this semester that I'm really looking forward to learning more about your experience with the class and what you are getting from the way things have changed and evolved in how this course is being offered. All right, I think that's my last question. Oh, no. Why do I think my students rate my class so highly in difficulty? It's a tough class. It's, you know, it's a 100-level college course in psychology. I think some students find my class difficult because there's no flexibility in submission due dates. I think some students find the class difficult because they're freshmen and there's not as much flexibility as they're accustomed to from high school or other experiences. But it's a hard class, right? I want you to learn the science, and you're going to be challenged to be thinking in a way that isn't intuitive for a lot of us, right? One of the biggest issues, and this is the last thing I'm going to share with you, and then you guys are going to escape here in about 5 minutes. One of the biggest issues I have as a psychology instructor is getting you over what you know. Right? One of the reasons why I have you do the pre-read is that I want you to write out all of your biases. I want you to write out all your preconceived notions, all of your biases, everything that you think that you know about this science, so you can put that all out there and I can have permission to teach you what the science actually tells us. There are so many things in our science that are counter to my personal experience or interpretation, and that's hard. Right? One of the biggest things I see students do that creates a problem for them in this class is that they try to answer the questions based upon their personal experience, what they believe, and what they've seen in the past, and they're not answering the questions from the science. So your challenge is to address this content, right? Any assessments from the science. That's one of the reasons why we encourage you to really use the book, quote from the book, right? Pull from the book. Recognize where your knowledge is coming from. One of the buzzwords now in psychology is conscious competency. Like, where is your knowledge coming from? And the more clear you are on where you're constructing the knowledge that you're using, the more effective you are in learning content and using the science as a whole. All right, let's take a few more questions from the chat.
People definitely are concerned with when things are due and keeping up on when they're due.
Okay.
And people are asking very big questions like, when is everything due? So, yeah.
Okay, I think that is a wonderful question. I'll share my screen just one more time and direct your attention to our Blackboard. And when you look at each folder's content, right? Monday, pre-work for Monday's class, right? This is from the orientation folder. This has to be completed by Sunday. So everything in Monday except for the exit ticket needs to be completed by Sunday night. Everything for Wednesday, right, except for the exit ticket, needs to be completed by Tuesday night. I have highlighted this information and placed it throughout Blackboard just so you can see. The exit tickets obviously are due Monday night by 11:59 and Wednesday night by 11:59. Weekly summaries will be available until Friday evenings. So as far as there being one due date for everything, that is not the case. If I had to do that, then everything would be due on Sunday, and that's a lot to ask to have you read all of that. At least you have Monday and Tuesday to get ready for Wednesday. Is there a follow-up or some more nuance to that, Lucas, that I could add that you think would be helpful?
There were just a whole bunch of questions about like generally like confusion around it, and yeah, I'm not sure if that was helpful. Was that helpful? Anybody in chat who was asking that question?
Better yet, why doesn't everybody use their thumbs up or some other little item here? Oh, it looks like you guys are still helping each other out. Okay, Braxton's got it. I see a thumbs up. Mary's got it. Excellent. Brendan Williams has got it. Lindsay, Maddie, Park, Ronnie. This is not Savannah. Even I know that, and I don't know much of nothing.
This was a question that I think we missed last time.
Okay.
What's the difference between an ARG and a choose your own adventure?
So the ARGs are choose your own adventures. Choose your own adventure is ARG on Monday. On Wednesdays, the choose your own adventure is other stuff. For example, next week on Wednesday, that you'll submit Tuesday night for the Wednesday class, it'll be getting to write your own research study based upon the pre-read stuff. So Monday's choose your own adventure are ARGs. Wednesday prep work choose your own adventure is going to be something else, and it changes every week.
Someone else was asking if it would be possible for you to make it so Blackboard shows the due dates on their like due date module thing that they have.
So I can't do anything more than I've already done because I have set the due dates for everything. So in the pre-read, right, the due date is listed right here. I know that some students like to use the dashboard. Historically, I find the dashboard tends to be not accurate. But that's just been my experience. So when you log in and you click on the assessment, the due date is right there. And I'm not sure what else that student is talking about. Lucas and Haley, do you guys have some insight on what I'm missing and what would be helpful as far as Blackboard due dates?
I think all the TAs were throwing out their great suggestions about like use Google Calendar, like be attentive to what's in the folders, like don't trust Blackboard to tell you everything, because even when teachers do their best, it often misses things.
Yeah, I'm not sure what else I could do. Delaney, did you have a thought? And we'll have this be our last thought, and then you guys can skedaddle.
Yeah, basically what I think some of the students are saying is in Blackboard, could the dates be like August 27th instead of just Tuesday?
Oh, you mean in the highlighted area? No, that's, I can't. Yeah, that would take entirely too much for me to go back and navigate all that. But here's what we do have, right? On the week, right? If you look at the week folder, we have the week that it's active. So you can pull from that as far as information. So, you know, Tuesday, the week of the 24th is going to be when you need to complete that. All right, you guys, I will see you on Monday. Feel free to email me. I've been getting lots of emails. I don't mind them. I'll answer any question you have. Take good care of yourselves. Stay healthy.